Well, it's a big week here in the Queen City with the NBA draft officially getting underway on Wednesday. The Charlotte Hornets entering with 3 picks. And to help us talk more about the draft, you know him, you love him. He's back on the program, Sam Farber. Sam, just how is this week for everybody in the organization? I know there's a lot of excitement with the Hornets, ending the week with 3 picks and adding more guys to the roster.
Yeah, tremendous amount of excitement right now. I mean, I appreciate you guys bringing me out of my hibernation. Had to put the suit aside for 2 months. Now we wait for a 90-plus degree day, and I get to bring it back out again. But very exciting times, a great time to be looking ahead to Hornets basketball come the fall.
And for you personally, how has your offseason been? You mentioned a couple months away. How's everything been for you?
You know, the silver lining to an early start to the offseason is extended time with the family, which we all appreciate. And it's certainly a benefit, I think, for the coaching staff and the team to really prepare in earnest for next season. You might recall Charles Lee was hired. The announcement, the unveiling, so to speak, of everything had to wait a little while because he was off winning a championship with the Celtics. So this is a full offseason for everyone to get on the same page and really be ready for the start of the 25-26 campaign.
When you think about that, having that extended time, having a full season under his belt, getting his feet wet now as a first-time head coach, how beneficial is that going to be, having more time around the guys and just around the front office in general as they get ready for the next season?
I think it's huge. I mean, he comes in so prepared for everything, Charles does, and Jeff as well in the front office, but to have more time, to have more meetings, more synergy between the group, I think that's great, and especially for the players themselves, considering how many injuries the Hornets dealt with. You want to maximize the amount of time for guys to rehab, recoup, and get back on the floor. We're seeing all kinds of video from guys in the heart of their off-season workout programs. It's huge to see them doing it in Charlotte. That's another big piece to the puzzle. Oftentimes, and it's not a bad thing necessarily.
They'll go away to a warm weather city or somewhere else.
They'll go off somewhere else and they'll do their workouts at home. They won't necessarily stay in their home market, but a lot of guys are right here in the Queen City getting to work, and it's another reason why there's so much excitement about this team, and particularly adding some more talent on Wednesday with the NBA draft. We're going to have a great draft party here for all of our great Hornets fans, and their enthusiasm is through the roof. This thing's already sold out. It's going to be at the KC on Wednesday. Kemba Walker's going to be there. Brandon Miller's going to be there. The voice of the Hornets, Eric Collins, will be there. I'll be there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Some of the most beloved members of the organization as well. Always a good time. Definitely looking forward to seeing that as well on Wednesday. And speaking of that NBA draft, Hornets entering with 3 picks. We'll see if they leave with 3 picks, because we know Jeff Peterson and company, they love working the phones. But just looking 4th overall specifically, you have a handful of guys that have been linked to the team that could be up there. Just going prospect by prospect, starting with a guy nearby, Knueppel, coming out of Duke, had a solid one-and-done season there. What stands out the most about him when you watch film? How could you see him potentially fitting in here in Charlotte?
Well, he fits in everywhere because he's a spectacular shooter of the basketball, and that's really, the number one key, I would say, for the modern NBA player is the ability to knock down open shots, and he does that very well. He's also proven an ability to play alongside a superstar. And for the overwhelming majority of players who come into the NBA, they have been a star before, but they haven't necessarily had to play off of one. That's something Knueppel has done a lot of at Duke. He's been the star as well. We saw a brief period of time there where Cooper Flagg went down to injury and Duke didn't miss a beat. So there's a lot to like about Knueppel, and obviously the talent, the character, everything you'd want in a player picking in the top 5.
And another guy, too, VJ Edge, come out of Baylor, got that average 15, 5 boards as well. A solid shooter, but even a better defender as well. How do you see him possibly fitting into the backcourt when you have guys like LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller there that we know are bona fide stars in their right as well?
Well, the number one thing you hear when it comes to VJ is about his athleticism, that he has elite athleticism in this draft class, which is so highly regarded. And so that's a big thing to be able to bring to the table. You mentioned the defense. That's something people talk about a lot. It's always hard for rookies to adjust, it seems. Whoever comes into the league, that's the target of everyone else's offense, and you have to prove that you can withstand that pressure. And VJ is someone who seems to be built to do that. There's, with all of these guys as well that we're going to talk about here, one thing to really like is their shooting ability. Some, it's going to be more of their calling card than others, but we just saw Stephon Castle win Rookie of the Year for the San Antonio Spurs. Tremendous season, great player. He was in the dunk contest, all kinds of good things that he did throughout throughout his rookie season, but not necessarily a big-time shooter in the NBA. Everyone we're talking about here, Khan, VJ, all the other candidates in the top 5, they're all really good shooters, maybe better shooters currently than even Castle is, so that bodes well for their future.
Another one as well, also nearby in Texas, Trey Johnson. We know the young man can score in bunches. When you look at, just his game, what really pops out about him when you look at his offensive ability and being able to score in bunches the way he does?
The dude can score. He can score from everywhere. He's a bucket is what you tend to hear from all the different scouts and coaches and analysts out there, that if you need someone to get you 2 points on any given possession, all these guys can do it, but maybe he's the best at doing it. So that's something that is a huge part of being a star in the NBA, is being able to put 20 points on the board pretty easily. And as a freshman at Texas, he did that. So it's something that he has in his back pocket. It's not to say that the other guys can't do it. Sometimes their role was different on their given team, but to have proof of concept at a very high level in the SEC and have the amount of success he did, it's a big part of the reason why he's considered a top 5 talent.
And we did to see a quote-unquote small market team just get it done. 2 of them in the NBA Finals. What do you think, when you look at those teams being able to kind of build the way that they have been, how soon do you think the Hornets could get to that point, and what are some of the main steps they need to possibly get there as a fellow, team that's quote-unquote in a small market, so to speak?
Well, I think some of the biggest takeaways from this is that it can happen fast, and it can happen by sticking to your instincts and sticking to your core principles as a team. It was only 3 or 4 years ago that both Oklahoma City and Indiana had a weaker overall winning percentage than Charlotte. And so Charlotte's been in the lottery a couple of extra times since then. And the main reason why hasn't been a deficiency in the roster per se. It's been injuries. It's been a lack of availability. The first ability is availability, and the Hornets just haven't had it. And so good fortune for Indiana and Oklahoma City to be right on a lot of draft picks. But that doesn't mean that the Hornets have been wrong on their draft picks. We don't know a lot about what this core looks like together because, unfortunately, they haven't had a ton of games, but they do have a ton of talent individually. Guys like LaMelo Ball has been an all-star. Brandon Miller has shown all-star capabilities, was top 3 in Rookie of the Year voting, and had a great start to his sophomore campaign. And there's so many guys that have a lot of talent on this roster, and they're going to add to it now in the upcoming NBA draft. So it can happen quickly. Indiana, Oklahoma City, they were 4 years removed from being near the bottom of the NBA, picking high in the lottery, to being at the top in the NBA Finals. Hopefully Charlotte is going to be on that path in the very near future.
Absolutely. And it all starts this week with the NBA draft. We'll certainly see how things shake out. Sam, appreciate you stopping by, man. Looking forward to the rest of the week.
My pleasure. We'll see everyone back at the Hive in October. Looking forward to it.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.